Indeed, and greetings unto you, beloved and holy friend. Thank you so much for joining me here again, Shannon. So nice to have you. The Reddit stream is failing right now, but me and you were in this moment. Today's stream topic, and don't tell anyone, it's kind of influenced by you. The fact that you've been going through maybe not exactly silence, but maybe silence. And this understanding to me of the power there is in the silence between our words. We'll try this again. I feel today is going to be a little bit of a slower stream. I'm going to take my time, think things through, spend time with you, friends, and breath. Let's see. The verdict is things are working indeed. And greetings unto you, beloved and holy friend. Thank you for joining me again. It's nice to have you here. Today's stream, I want to dedicate to the silences between words. The fact that you can say things with silence. And I want to play with that understanding. I want to see if I can say things to you with silence today. Who knows? Maybe something gets said that could only be said in silence. Maybe you can hear something that I can't say. What you are in your essential being is God itself, Himself, herself. In pure spirit, you were unbounded and without form, but you are not without consciousness. And if God, who became you, held the thought, I certainly can't separate myself from myself, that would be a limitation. It would be a limitation if you couldn't feel separated, couldn't feel lonely, couldn't feel worthless, couldn't feel unworthy. So being able to have these silent moments that aren't necessarily filled with all the experiences we enjoy, being able to have that silence, that separation, that nothingness is something that just shows again towards your power, towards your choice to practice power, to practice in this moment, to be in this moment. I feel pretty I don't know if somber is the right word. Maybe a little bit. Me and Christian got to have some cool chats. We got to talk about a bunch of things. The future, finances, the understanding of what is going to be required of us, expectations. We got to talk about my time in China a little bit, which is not something that me and Christian really talks about a lot. I asked him if I changed when I came back from China. And he got to reflect back to me some of the things that I did change in, notably the fact that I'm more willing to listen to others' opinions. I'm less aggressive, and I'm more open to conversations. Like I felt I was that before I went to China, but to feel like I made a change that was significant enough that other people can notice it, that one of my friends can notice it. And I realized that a lot of that change came from silence. I spent so much time in silence in China. And not all of it was necessarily chosen. For a lot of it, I just didn't have someone to talk to. So silence was the only alternative. And yet within that silence, I still got to have the same amount of experience. I didn't miss out on anything, even though I was separated from friends and family, even though I had an extreme experience of anxiety, not feeling safe, not feeling secure, not knowing what comes next. And I realized that if I could practice more silence, even, right? Silence of the mind, silence of my need for things to change, that I could have gained even more. I feel like I'm actively where I am right now because of that change as well, that silence, but to really spend time with it. To breathe to yourself in silence. When I spend moments like that, just now, for example, I heard someone of a motorcycle or something far distance, and I was just imagining that person's experience in that moment. The wind rushing past them. What a non-silent experience that is. And then extrapolating that to, all humans on Earth right now, and how many of us are having experiences right now. How noisy, coming back to that topic from a few days ago, the experiences, and how there can be information in the lack of noise as well. As I spend a moment in silence, I hear a little bird. Kitty K, how nice to have you here with me. Thank you for joining us. Me, you, Shannon. A little bit of silence. Shannon Nanner. Has your ear infection gotten any better? Been thinking about you bunches. Same. Thank you for asking. I don't think it's gotten worse. It's odd. The right one, the infected one, is still muffled, and the left one is the one that's ringing constantly. Though it doesn't seem to be as intense as it was. I'm happy to hear you're at least adjusting, if anything. I can't hear better. I can hear better out of my right one than the left one. Sending healing frequencies in the form of voice. Maybe, Shannon, don't come to the streams. Hear nothing. Maybe you should spend some time just listening to yourself. Spend some time in silence. you know, Take some time for yourself as well, please. Hi friends, chaotic weekend. Haven't had the time to show up as much as I'd like, but trying my best. Happy 4th, friends. You're here now. Thank you, Isaac. It's so nice to see you. I'm happy that you're here. I'm happy that you're safe. I'm happy that you're still just as loving as you've always been and caring. How was your weekend? Like, if it was a busy one, was there anything that happened? Anything you'd like to share? Hey, brother Ryan. I've been thinking about you a lot, man. I've been spending time in somewhat painful silence where I feel I am having a hard time sharing what's going on right now without it being negative. Does it make sense? Maxime, it's nice to have you here with me. Thank you, friend. It's so nice to see you here as well. I'm tired as well. Same, same. I feel like I could pick up for a nap actually. There is. Maybe I'll share actually. Instead of being silent about it, share what's going on. There has been this intention to come through to America in this year. It was anticipated that it could be this year. And I started going through the whole process of learning what I'm supposed to do if I want to get myself a visa. And there is a South African individual, beautiful person, that made a video with her whole process of what she had to go through, what was expected of her, what they do to approve you as a South African individual for a visa to go to America. And she basically goes into detail of like, oh yeah, so all they expect of you is to, give some sort of proof that you would really want to stay in your country. Like, oh, I own a mortgage, or I have this down payment on a car, or I have this stable job, and my employer can write you a letter that I'm going to go to America for only this period of time, and I have X amount of money in my bank account so I can afford to stay there, and I would like to return on this day to South Africa. And I was just like listening to this information being given to me about what they expect of you, what information they want from you if you want the American visa. And it's basically like a checklist. If I had to try and hit a high score for how much of a flight risk I can look like, I was like, yeah, no stable job, tick. No house to pay down, tick. And no car on my name, yeah, tick. Oh, not a lot of capital in my bank account, so I would have to find work in America if I wanted to stay there for an extended period of time. That tick. So it was just like this experience of being faced with the fact that things aren't going to necessarily be as easy as I expected them to. And that seems to be the nature of our reality sometimes. And it's not bad. It is but a challenge, an opportunity for love. But I appreciate you, friends, so much for being here with me for that. It's nice to see you again, Mr. Binary. Thank you for joining us, Red Clicker. It's nice to have you here as well. Anything new for you, Red Binary? Have you spent some time in silence? Have you spent some time thinking? Has there anything come up for you? Anything you would like to share with us, group? Contrary to popular belief, most illegal immigrants in the US come in legally. I did. There we go. Yeah. That is how it is, friend. So, like, if I wanted to go to America right now and get myself a visa, that's literally what they worry about. Because to them, I'm a dude who streams, right? I need an internet connection to work. I'm a dude who streams, who now wants to go to America, to where there is a lot of opportunities for people in my career field. And then I don't have really the funds to back up even a week stay, literally. America is expensive here. So it is, and then not having a house or a car or a stable job on this side either, it's very likely that if I had that intention, I would want to stay in America. But the thing is, I really love South Africa. And I have many people here, many friends, many loved ones. So even if I could take that opportunity, I don't necessarily feel I would. Like, I would be more likely to marry someone who lives in America than to try and live there illegally. I'm just after the experience I had in China, where because of COVID lockdowns, my visa expired in the country, and then they basically sent out like a notification to everyone that, okay, technically the visas that expire aren't expiring for 2 more months. Everyone gets a 2 month extension. And then that 2 month extension ran out, and then I was teaching in a city, and then the police showed up with like cameras in my classroom. They took me to the police station, interrogated me, asked me why I'm teaching with an expired visa. It was a whole thing, it wasn't house arrest until I could get my visa renewed. Couldn't get my visa renewed in the city I was in. Went back to Shanghai. Couldn't get it renewed in Shanghai. Then went back again to that same city. It was so contrived, so contrived. And that anxiety of where every single little snap of a, stick, ring of a bell, hearing police sirens, I instantly had this flash of, they're coming for me. Now, finally, oh goodness, they found out where it is I live. Me, illegal immigrant in this country now, by force. It was in the middle of COVID. No flights were flying to South Africa. It was so crazy. But it was again this sheer being stared in the face of, oh, extreme situations. Oh, are you gonna be okay? And then the story of, oh, what if I'm not okay? and then things are okay. And then I'm like, oh, I could have just not worried the whole time. Nice. That would have been good information to have. I keep leaving my glass there. Oh, no shame. If that is Hermes Blur, this thing has Atlas Wear written on it. Abundance to last all sapiens. Abundance to last all sapiens, where all revel excitably. Yeah. Atlas Wear, thank you. Atlas Wear. IT is hard for us. It is hard for us to travel within the US because it's so expensive for us too. Yeah, red clickers. So the way that it looks like right now, maybe I'll have to reset my expectations. And I'm fortunately a very patient person. Even if it takes me 10 years, eventually I'll see America. I'll go to all of the mountains, immerse myself in rainforests, shower myself under a river waterfall, stand in the desert, maybe stare over the Grand Canyon. I can see it already. Thank you. And I release it. I am a manager in America. What do you? I am a manager in America. What do you work? This why work? I'm suddenly the pressure. I do what I'm best at, friend. And I got asked this question recently by Maxine. These are beans. Ask it why I actually do these streams at all. And it basically came to me in that moment that the only thing that I feel I'm really good at is being good to people, being kind to people. And it's a little bit of a difficult thing to commoditize. One, because I don't want to, right? And two, because it's not necessarily seen as something that's valuable. So it's this trip of trying to tweak the universe in a way, you know, pressing buttons on the matrix, try and figure out how to live my life in a way where I can actually feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing and still serving my soul. So this is my work, friend. This is what I do for work. Thank you for being one of my bosses today. Kindly, Shane. I appreciate it. Good morning, Miss Molly. It's nice to have you here with me. Thank you for joining us. How are you doing, friend? Have you spent some time in silence? And if you spent some time in silence, did any answers come from that silence for you? Why don't you get a job in the US and come here to work? It's for a year or something. I do like that idea, Red. I really do like that idea. I'm considering it as well. I would need to have invitation. Like that's one of the prerequisites to being able to work in America is the company you work for needs to invite you. It is I like it. I do actually like it. I'm not opposed to working in America. It's just a matter of time, right? Actually, this is intense. I would have been so scared myself. It was uncomfortable, to say the least, Maxine. It was definitely uncomfortable, but it was an opportunity for me to realize just how bad I can like convince myself it is. Like even though I was stripping out ceaselessly, nonstop, I didn't notify anybody that things were hectic, right? So there was like a weird balance that happened there as well, where things were brutal and like getting worse, like seemingly day by day. But I didn't talk to my dad and be like, "Oh, things are so bad. I'm suffering." No, I was just like kind of radio silence. Didn't say anything about this. And if I like ceaselessly kind of gave my parents updates about, oh, now this thing is happening, now this thing is going on, they would have probably, you know, I would have shown up back home and they would have both been completely bald. So I'm happy that I could keep it to myself, if you will. I could be in silence in my suffering, and my suffering turned out to be less bad than my parents would have imagined it to be. And I could have maybe had more support if I shared, but I had to find some sort of balance. And it's weird, right? Like now we're doing technically the opposite, where it might be even seen as oversharing. Dang, the CCP don't play. No, no, they don't. Like especially if the cameras, dude. That was the thing that was the most surreal to me. They had body cameras on them, and then one of the dudes literally took off his body cam and was like pointing it. Like that dude was determined to get the shot. Like he was so determined. Like somewhere on a Chinese server out there is a video, like police footage video of me teaching English, like teaching little Chinese kids English. I want to say A, A for apple. And oh goodness, I just imagine it. Like who knows? Maybe one day we'll see it. Sorry, it might be delayed, Mel, but I have high confidence that you will get the same place, but it might be 5 times pain. In the butt factor, oh yes, might be 5 times pain in the butt factor. Especially since it's so expensive, Brother Ryan. $160 just to apply. And like I went and read some information. And apparently people believe it's more of a scam than anything, where so many people get denied that they're just banking hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars a month of people just trying to apply to go to America and then getting denied and then getting denied and given like a little crumb of like, oh, maybe if you did this, if you get this thing, or if you do that, if you write this in your little thing, then you probably can get it. And then they go again, and then it fails again, and then they try again, and it's oh goodness. And I read this information, and I just get this like tingling down my spine of like extreme susness, where I'm like, all of this is so sus. As soon as it becomes bureaucratic, there is opportunity for corruption, and it's that's what you say, Brother Ryan, a 5 times pain in the butt, factor. South Africa, Africa in general can be even worse at that sometimes. Speaking of Atlas, isn't it wild how people actually felt that they knew the Earth was headed, healed in place by a huge human-like creature? Oh yes, that is quite a assumption, huh? Like, how does that work realistically? Just some dude. What does he stand on? Do you see any platforms? Like, so many questions. So many questions. So somebody. Thank you for sharing that, Mr. Binary. Cody the Painter. So nice to see you here, friend. What a pleasure. Thank you for joining us. How have you been? How's life been treating you? How have you been treating you? Hope all is well. Been too long. It has been too long. It's nice to have you here now, though. Kira Burr, love and light to you. Thank you, Kristen. It's nice to see you. Sunshine Sister. I have been silent for years because of Uncle Becky and Aunt B and you. I started vocalizing again. Thank you. I have also seen the vision you had yesterday. Hmm. So unknown sphere divided, the swirling dust particles. I can see it right now, but unfortunately, and I'd be honest about this, Miss Molly, when I share these things that I see sometimes, it's so present moment based to the point where I don't even have the ability to retain a lot of it. It's almost like uh, you live in this house, and somewhere in the house there's a TV running psychedelic fractals, and then when I close my eyes, I'm in the house again, and I can maybe find myself in front of the TV, and I can see the psychedelic fractals. But then as soon as I go to the rest of the house, it's very difficult for me to be like, oh yeah, like a fractal that looked exactly like this. So I thank you for remembering and for feeling into it, Miss Molly. If anything, when I share these things, I share them from this perspective of what does it make you feel? What does it make you see? What does seeing that make you feel? Does it mean anything to you? Is there something of value, right? It's at the end of the day just your experience. Love tossed out. Thank you for joining us. It's so nice to have you here with us. Red Clicker, happy 4th to you as well. The Sphere, I think this one is for you, Melt. 01 Visa Aliens of Extraordinary Ability. Hmm. Is that a movie? Like, my mind is going through so many fractals right now, Ryan. I think this is supposed to be you, Melt. And then he is like a 01 Visa Aliens of Extraordinary Ability. And I'm like imagining a whole movie show or a whole movie, TV show, movie, uh, a book, Visa Aliens of Extraordinary Ability. I think I need more information, Brother Ryan. Please, I need more nodes to connect the fractal so we can connect. Did you say susness? Sus is short for suspect. You're so cute. Yes, all of the sus. Thank you, Ryan. I appreciate the love, friend. It genuinely means something to me. Thank you for seeing that. Been treating myself well. Life, however, has been beating me down. All things in time. Just happy to be here. I'm seeing like a string. It looks like kind of string, but energetic string, kind of like hanging loosely, and then it has like these little spheres. It looks like they have clips on them, holding the string up, but it's kind of like in air, so there is some gravity, but it's mostly space. And then this energy looped stuff hangs from these little spheres that seem to be pulling them up. Thank you, Cody the Painter, for being here and for inspiring some light. I'm sorry that life is beating you down. And the cliche thing that's coming to my mind is just to say that nothing more than I believe you can handle. It's something that I got to have a chat with Christian with us about as well, where we're talking about our disappointments or our perceived regrets. And even though there are regrets, there is still a lesson learned, a selfness gained on the other side of it, friend. So keep becoming the strongest version of yourself, Cody. We're gonna need you. I think I missed a few. Amanda, it's nice to have you here, friend. I definitely missed a few. Oh goodness, how many did I miss? Not too many. Isaac, it's been all right. I had a real rough morning yesterday. Just one of those days where I was lost to the throes of mental rapids without a paddle. I do. I'm there kind of right now, actually, like, woo! And I felt a little bit tired coming into stream today. One of those impossible moods. It's hard to let go of the frustration at time lost in negativity. Currently, what I want to fight that and being tired as hell and needing a little bit more free time to rest. We're making it fine though. Keep showing up, Isaac. Keep showing up, Brother Bear. I feel on an energetic level, on a humanity level, these are some of the hardest times for us as collective. So the fact that you're still here, the fact that you're still continuing every day, breathing air, being able to smile at someone, smile at yourself, that's what we're showing up for. We're still here, friends. The fact that you're still here means you're doing good. The fact that you're not being like, oh wait, thank you. Not for me. Some people are, and you can think of it any way you want. I genuinely believe it's a choice for us to be here. That we're here to help this world. Something that me and Christian talked about as well. His worry. He mentioned to me that he wishes that in his current job he was creating / having more impact. And my retort to that was the fact that you cannot not have impact. It's impossible for you to not have impact. Every single thing you eat, conversation you have, person you see, hand you shake, hug you share, loving moment that you feel has an impact on everything, everyone around you, and continues to have impacts in your moment to moment, day to day, year to year, decade to decade life. You matter, friend. Everything you do matters. You have impact. Please continue to try and make that impact a positive one. If we can all do that, this world's gonna be just so fine. You will make the world so fine. If you want to come to America in time, you will, I'm sure. Can make it happen. Keep at it, Melt Love. Thank you. Red, I'm patient. I'm patient. I was worried about perception, where this was an intention that was given, an intention that was shared, a hope that was had, and then reality had other ideas, if you will. And I felt like I lost maybe a sense of trust in myself, even. Never mind a trust from you, friends, but a trust in myself in how I thought things were gonna go. And fortunately, that seems to be the case more so than not. And I keep learning that lesson, and the lesson seems to be patience. It's an actual type of US visa. Oh! Are you serious? That makes more sense, but it makes less sense at the same time. Aliens of extraordinary ability. I don't know about all of that. I just imagine them being like, so you want aliens of extraordinary ability visa? What can you do? And I awkwardly, cringily put my speaker down, do a little bit of a jig, and this person is just like in awe, like so shocked, and is like, "No, sir, please, that is no, no. We look for engineers, people that know how to code. No, I'm sorry." Thank you for that ride. I mean, who knows? Who knows? I mean, I genuinely believe, and I shared this with Christian as well, where he was talking about he was talking about what he wants to do going into the future, and the fact that his current job isn't satisfying him. He feels like he's in a rut, in a loop right now. And then I asked him, "What is it you want to learn next?" And then he was like, "Oh, I want to maybe like work in AI, maybe work in robotics." And I said to him, and he was like, "Oh, but and he said, "I'm not smart enough to work in that field." And I said to him, "You are definitely smart enough. You just might not have the right skills right now." And as soon as I said that to him, I felt like that was a significant thing for me to listen to as well. Like, we are very much capable enough, friends, all of us. It's not about capability, it's just about how many skills we have right now and how valuable those skills are in society. And that's unfortunately a bit of a yikes, but we keep getting more skilled. I literally have a whole folder, skills folder. Get more skilled. Mm. Last night I was blessed with a thunder and lightning storm, as well as seeing fireworks. Sure, Baron, two of them. I've never seen that at all it was before. Yeah, I was just thinking, I was so beautiful. I was thinking, is the fireworks going high enough to pierce the clouds, or is it just exploding above, like below the clouds, and then having the clouds as like a backdrop? Do let me know, Maxine. Sounds beautiful. You can catfish someone to get them to get you one of those 90-day fiance visas. I would rather not, friend. Thank you, Mr. Binary. Weirdly enough, that almost happened to me. Really. Some of you friends who have been watching for a long time know that. Oh goodness, what a trip that was. Life, reality is so beautiful. I'm just happy that, and I was thinking about it today as well, that I was aware enough. I had bullshit detectors. And then I was like, something's not right. Something here is not right. And I GTF out. Recommendation. Hello to you, friends. Nice to have you. Thank you for joining us. Extra love and hugs to Kira Burbs. I see a little perch and then a ball that is like made of light, like transparent light. And then within that transparent light ball, almost like these little lightningies, it crawls up the sides of the ball in an artistic way, looking like cracks, but instead of it being cracks, it's like lightning that went through the glass, making it stronger, making it a new type of lightning glass or something. I don't know. Looks beautiful. I was just thinking of you. Thank you for that, Hero Bear. Mentally and spiritually, if I were where I used to be, I'd likely be a much darker hold. My two little girls keep me grounded. Cody. Yo, I feel that is such a trip, dude. I can't even imagine what it must be to have kids in the world. Little beings that think of you as dad. They look at you and they see dad. Those eyes. They see dad. That's a trip, dude. I can't. Please, Cody, my brain. Thank you for sharing that with the bay. Thank you for keeping, yourself above ground, for taking care of them. It's so cool that we connect with people like never before, but not being able to be physically close to those who we find online sure sucks. Yeah, that's what I'm going through as well. That's why I wanted to come to America, to meet you friends in person, to sit down around a fire and have some chats, to just, have that connection, and then we can go back to it being online, having had uh, a transcendental experience technically. STFU, no. Thank you for suggesting, though. I appreciate you, friend, for choosing to share what you want to share. Wishing you comfort and relief. Binary. It's an introvert's dream. It sounds good, though. You can not have an impact. Unity and separation are united and inseparable. Thank you, Cody. Man, Cody has been around for a while with us. You know, I remember that was Gobs. I think Gob was the one that really kind of like hit on that note. Sometimes we're able to connect in person. Sometimes we are. Gob and Toasty has connected with Uncle Becky actually, so it is possible. Since you taught, since you taught English, is there some type of visa that lets you come to the US for teaching Afrikaans? I don't see it as a, and maybe I'm like being a little bit negative, so I'm sorry if I'm shooting down ideas, friends. I don't want to do that. But South Africa and Afrikaans, I think, only has like 10 million active speakers in the whole world. It's not a very popular language and is unfortunately dying right now. Our youth prefers to speak English. I prefer to speak English. Even though I can speak Afrikaans, English is at this point my first language, the point where I have a hard time even expressing myself in Afrikaans. Pretty sure this is what emotionally unavailable people say. It's one thing to not want to hang out every day and to not want to. That's true. That's true as well, friend, but I feel it is also an experience of when you do open yourself up to being emotionally available to some individuals, it can, partly because of expectation, especially expecting people to be as committed as you are, but usually because of differences, that there is a lack or a loss in the emotional availability, where you try and give so much of yourself and it sometimes feels like it's not enough. So being an introvert, you get to give to yourself. And that is sometimes very necessary. That's, I feel, where we need to start. Some people have it so swapped where they only know how to give to other people, don't know how to give to themselves. Again, it's not about bad, it's about balance. I feel like that is consolidated as a new one of our sayings. We have melt more. If you feel like you're melting, melt more. If you feel like your ego is dissolving, let it. There's still going to be more to dissolve. Melt more. And then love is true, of course, also coming with the stream. And then instead of bad, balance, we'll get more. These universal rules feel true. I'm an introvert. My emotions are readily available. Thank you for your assumptions. We all sometimes assume. We need to try and live by the four agreements as well, right? Be impeccable with your word, Mr. Binary. Don't assume anything. Difficult. Don't take anything personally. Even more difficult. Do your best. If we got that, things are gonna be okay. Careful not to pass judgment or speak in such absolutes on other community members, please. Thank you, Gab, for the gentle reminder. You know, it's like I do imagine Gab as a paladin in my mind, you know, like strong frontline defender. And Gab just had like his like staff, like steel, twisty steel embossed. Is it embossed? No, inlaid. Like I imagine it having like these thick inlays of steel, kind of like twisting around it in this wooden staff. And Binary was like, "Mana, mana," like throw some muck at someone, and then he's like, doesn't. I'm happy to share that with you. How does it feel, Gab? If I can go from a trades job to a tech job, anyone can learn almost anything. Exceptions exist, but the statement stands. Like, if we spend enough time trying to do something new, we'll probably succeed at it. Thank you, Cody, for sharing that anecdote as well, friend. Jon Snow with blonde hair. I have blonde hair? Maybe reddish. A little bit reddish. Yeah. Get that one occasionally. Maybe like once a year or something. Lily Wolf. Thank you for joining us and for sharing what you see, friend. We love the heck and support. We love the heck and support out of you, Curie Burby. Yes, we do. Yes, so much. I don't even have any good skills. Yeah, you know, like nunchuck skills, bow hunting skills, computer hacking skills. I do, you know, have bow hunting skills. Unironically, nunchuck skills, not quite. Computer hacking skills. I mean, I know how to get a Wi-Fi password. That's the extent of my hacking. Some of you friends know exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, yeah. I feel like that is some sort of Napoleon Dynamite reference or something. Is it? Is it? Is it right? Bow hunting skills. That was like one of the most beautiful experiences to me. My brother kind of likes just shooting a bow at a target, and we were putting these little, you know, fallen limes on the bow hunting target and then shooting at these limes. And he's been shooting for a while, and I haven't really picked it up in at that point 6 years or something. And I take the bow from him. You know, he gives me the bow and take it from him to like take a round of the arrows. And I shoot three of my arrows, two of them into a lime, one of them like just close to the lime. And he's like, "Have you been practicing?" And I'm like, "No. Natural born hunter. I would have been able to feed my family if I was just a prehistoric human." Damn it. I mean, I wouldn't have a compound bow, which would have been really nice. You know, I just imagine you being a Giga Chad prehistoric human walking around with a compound bow. It would be pretty radical. The fireworks were under the clouds while the lightning pierced through the clouds and lit up the entire sky, followed by the rolling thunder. I can see it. That's so beautiful, Maxine. Thank you for sharing it with me. Means everything. Love you so much. As we love you. Thank you, Kira, for allowing yourself to be seen, friend. Sounds like a doggy nightmare, but a person's fantastical wonder. I mean, some dogs are fascinated. You know, I saw this one dog that was like barking at the window when he heard fireworks outside, and then his owner opened the window for him, and he just like stood up and was just looking at the fireworks. So he made the connection that those loud noises are those colors in the sky, and as soon as he made that connection, there was wonder for him, fantastical wonder for him as well. So I feel it's a informational gap where they don't associate and they don't realize what's happening, and that scares them. You have a gang of people wanting to hang with you when you arrive, Melty. That's the thing, Maxine. I want to hang with you, friends, like desperately, to the point where I'm like brainstorming, like, can I swim to America? No. I mean, I can like paddle for a while, and then if I get close to the shore, then I can swim. No. The Legend of Gob, yes. Do you see this? The staff. The staff is like for me the mental centerpiece, dude. Like, what weapon would you actually like? Would you be a staff kind of guy, sword kind of guy, spear kind of guy? I like lean between staff and spear if I had to choose a weapon. Oh God, yeah, my kitty was disgruntled with the random booms. I'm so sorry. At least you got to be there with her. I thought this too, and also yoga instruction, the check marks, two of the conditions. That's true. Maybe I can get a job as a yoga teacher. I don't know. Like maybe who knows? The amount of people waiting at the airport would be overwhelming. I mean, I don't know about that, Cody. Thank you, friend. Thank you so much for the love. I really appreciate you, friends. Like, just even if it's imagined, I appreciate the love, right? Like the ability for us to share in a way where we can experience what someone means. We can experience the love, the care someone has for us. You friends are giving that to me actively. I can't thank you enough for that. But yes, but no, the system works. But I thought teachers have a different pathway or accessibility. Hopefully. I'll see. I'll find out if there is a pathway like that as well. Thank you, Maxine, for giving me more ideas, more fractals to consider and to explore. Fair enough. What happens if I climb you like a tree and sit on your shoulders? He will be the first and the tallest and baldest. Hmm. I can kind of see it, like not only is Gob on a tractor, shirtless, sheening all over, but now he's on a tractor that's like skyscraper sized. Gob, skyscraper sized. Cody climbing him like a mountain, climbing over muscles like boulders, sitting on his like trap next to his neck, stretching over it. Massive spear slash staff, by his side. We need teachers in America. Yes, like goodness. Will I want to be a teacher again? That's the real question. It depends on how much hours I'll be working. I feel it's the real limiting factor for me. Then he will see us both first and know that we surely have arrived. The tribe of Cody. Mm, the tribe of Cody. Suddenly, instead of just being massive Gob on a tractor with Cody on his shoulder, he got a backpack that is like a little, you know, housing block where the tribe of Cody gets to reside and, plan their tribe of Cody and adventures or something. more fractals, more infinities. It's an epic legend. Oh, it's becoming one. Absolutely. Oops, my laptop died. Here you are again, though. Binary, different fractal, same phone, or well, different different technology piece, same fractal. Hey, kitty. Making it fine though. My boyfriend is coming to America from SA on a work visa for a year, and he has to say he is going home, but we're going to try and keep him here somehow. Legally, of course, lol. I think having close family here counts. Oh yeah, it does help. It definitely does help. Maybe Brother Ryan would have an avenue as a yoga entrepreneur. It's a little bit difficult right now, I feel. Like things are hard economically, and people aren't investing as much money into yoga right now, into anything, really, into literally anything right now. So maybe over the next year or so it could be possible. I do think it would be difficult to work somewhere as a yoga instructor. I don't think it might be though. Is the problem? Is the problem, Shannon? Like there are a lot of yoga instructors, especially in California. Like there might be. California is where most people do yoga right now, I believe. Maybe even the world. I might be wrong about that, but that's where most of the yoga teachers are. There are jobs, definitely. I think I need to start looking. Like the problem is, I'll probably have to look online right now, and I can only really start doing that if I can create some sense of stability. If I'm going to be teaching online, there's so many little tangents to go down there as well. There's plenty at the YMCA. Yeah, that's what I'm saying as well, Amanda. There are a lot of yoga teachers right now. Thankful for the space today. Been struggling a lot lately, avoiding this feeling of dread. The color of my experience has been very doom and gloom lately. Super weird and lame. I've been going through the same, Isaac. I've been going through the same, very much so. But I'm still choosing you. I can see in this moment, still choosing to show up in love. And if we can do that, like we're becoming something, dude. Like to be able to share love in the moments of pain, the moments of doom and dread, that's a pretty significant skill. Joining from the cuddle puddle of doggo and small kiddo. Thank you for joining us, Natalie. Thank you for sharing that moment with us and for sharing the moment with your beloveds. Infinite Isaac. Oh yes, Natalie, how much love could you even hold in one space? Infinite. Actors get skills and cultural visas a lot. Hmm. Skills and cultural. Maybe that should be one. Thank you, Natalie, for another little fractal to explore. We learn that lesson constantly, and I've been a very stubborn student lately. Expectations wreck us if we aren't ready, but it's important to look back even 2 hours and see how it's all right. It's always okay when things don't go as expected because every day we navigate through an ever changing environment. We learn the lessons daily. Will it ever sink in? I don't know, Isaac. I hope so. I'm trying. I am trying. I'm trying to melt into that lesson, right? Instead of trying to let the message sink into me, I'm just sinking into the message. Many of the festival performers were cross borders, US, Canada, so there's a need to define scope of work as to why you are paying someone from out of country. Sponsored travels for skills can be a thing. If you make money, it's an issue. Otherwise, a vacation entrance with enough money to travel is usually sufficient. Yeah, I have like a loose 100 bill, kind of like perpetually falling in my bank account. A better barter system is alive and well in the festival world. It's a selection of yoga instructors in an even small town near me. Hmm. And there's a lot of yoga instructors right now. It is a pretty sought after thing, and a lot of people have tried to fill that niche, which is a good thing. More people need to do yoga. Oh yeah, Natalie, I don't even think of that. I met a group of people that traveled from hostel to hostel and would offer their skills when staying there, and then help set up music festivals. I have friends like that as well, Jovan. I have friends like that as well, actually. That's kind of trippy. Oh, cool. I didn't go hostel to hostel. They mostly live in tents, but they do go festival to festival, setting up the festivals, and they make good money. They make good money on top of it, actually. Recently good money, decently good money. I think Mel would be an incredible yoga teacher. Thank you. I am a yoga teacher, Amanda. I'm a certified yoga teacher. Don't go to California. Go to a place where there isn't much competition for yoga instruction. I will have a hard time going to America soon for a job, right? Like, if I'm gonna go to America for a job, I'm going to be have to get invited for a job, and I have a hard time working for other people right now. Always, but especially these days when it comes to what's expected of us. Maybe say it that way. Where for me, the most important thing that I've committed to is this space, you friends, being able to share with each other in this way, and I cannot let something get in the way of that. Yeah, I've made a commitment to love, and I will show up with that commitment no matter what. Especially won't abandon this in pursuit of wealth. I've never in my entire life felt more wealthy in experience and love than I do with you friends in this space. Thank you. Thank you for always ceaselessly giving so much. We have to take Mel to the national parks and show him the delicious foods of the US when he gets here. Yeah. Please. Please do that. Like, see, my wizard staff is jarred and ashy on the floor end of it because it's used to poke at campfires. Okay. More fractals in my mind. Thank you, God. I can see it. Wait, Cody. I mean, that's not Cody. It's Corey. Just a little bit to the left. I mean, it's shifting right now, but yes. Thank you, Corey, for joining us. Ninja Nanner, how are you doing? I hope you're doing as well. We need educational reform, yes, throughout many capitalist countries, yes. And I was talking about this as well. Yo, so many fractals. Christian and me, I had this conversation about the schooling system and about this dreary corporate, you have to ask permission to go to the bathroom type of mentality where if you feel like you need a day for yourself, you need to send them like a doctor's letter and they expect it to you to be submitted like same day, next day type of vibe. And that is literally the way that school is as well, the way prison in my mind is as well, where it like conditions you. School has been conditioning us to live this life of like corporate slavery, where you're expected to force information into yourself and follow instructions to a T, not expected to think originally or creatively. because the creative jobs are at the top end, right? Like the highest paying jobs are the creative ones, the real creative ones in a company that come up with new ideas. But those ideas are saturated slash the the highest paying jobs are the most sought after, and there are more creative people than anything. So it's like trying to narrow people into this archetype of a human. It's such a trip. It's such a trip. Thank you for joining us, Corey. It's so nice to have you here with us. How about being invited to help tend a farm? Guess who was about to buy one? Shanna! Love to you, friend. Eternal blessings to you and the farm, and eternal abundance that to come from it as well. Thank you for sharing that. I hope it's a beautiful experience to you. That's a good idea, and congrats, Shannon. Right? Right? Thank you. Thank you for celebrating with her. That's amazing, Shanna. Shanna loves life. Like, why wouldn't you? And with that as a mentality, with that as a proclamation to the universe, life is going to give you more things to love. Shanna, I hope the farm brings you so much love. Just being able to have space, being able to stare out into the field. Love to you, friend. Thank you. I want to learn how to use a bow so bad. What a cool talent. It's fun, Maxine. It's really fun as well. It feels kind of powerful where you click and you know you could kill the thing that you were shooting that thing at. Don't reply to me expecting fluff. I didn't really expect anything of you, Mr. Binary. Good morning, friend. We like if I expect anything of you at all, is to just be loving, right? Don't for no reason throw shade at people because you don't know. You don't know what people are going through, and you throwing shade at people can be the last straw for them, where they go through nonsense after nonsense after nonsense after nonsense, and then you give them more nonsense and they end it. So that is a reality. That is possible. You have power with your words, and that is something that we practice in this space. We choose to be loving with our words. Staff is fine because I don't actually want to hurt anyone, just bonk them. Yes. And with a steel inlaid staff, you can bonk people. Bonk them into the ground. Oh, Mel, my dear, how are you? Jojo. Nice to have you here with us. It's always a pleasure. I'm doing well. I feel you friends have helped me complete a loop as well, where I was like definitely at the low part of the loop, and we're like at the top of the loop. So now we'll be like going through it again. Thank you, Jojo, for joining us, friend. I was once as emotionally unavailable as one can be until I stopped lying to myself. Not much change because intelligent people who aren't consumed by a character are few and far in between. Consumed by a character. Intelligent people that aren't consumed by a character. Do you mean the intelligent person tries to be a character, or there is a character that they are consumed by, that they want to be perceived as? Like, what exactly do you mean, Mr. Binary? I'm in a train and the connection is bad, so I can't linger around, but hope everyone is having a marvelous day. And I'll see you soon. I'll see you soon as well. Thank you, Jojo. You're probably already gone. Love to you. $4.44 for an online yoga session. That does sound nice. Thank you, Corey, for encouraging me. I feel the biggest challenge right now is just finding clients. I understand that things are not easy financially in the world right now, but there are still people that has money. Maybe the people that has money might not be practicing yoga right now, so it's about finding the right people. And I'm patient, fortunately as well. I happen to be supported by the universe in this moment, which I'm very grateful for. Because if it wasn't for infinite support from you friends, from loved ones, like you friends have legitimately made such a big difference in my life, the Patreon alone, you continue to. So, all in time, Corey, everything in time. I believe that your morning yoga sessions that I'm supposed to be giving before the stream, I haven't been able to give it for like a week now because I haven't had electricity during that time. But that is going to be, I hope, one of the great potential abilities for us to earn a decent income as well. I had a vivid dream this morning of being haunted by a shape-shifting ghost that kept jump scaring me. What an asshole. Jump scaring you. So he was like shape-shifting into different things and then jumping out at you as these different things. Starting any business is a slow, time-consuming process. Oh yes. Oh yes. That was a dream. It was me. Kira Bird was just trolling you. I ended up repelling it with a spray called guac Guacotermina. Guacotermina? It's a form of Betty White. What is the form of Betty White? That's so weird. God, I love it. The little one has awoken. I must go be dad again. Have a beautiful day, friends. Thank you, beloved brother Bear. Have an amazing time being dad. Thank you for doing what you're supposed to. I chased it out of my house with a pistol whipped Betty and can spring it bottle and told her to fuck off. I like as soon as I read fuck off, I saw the little girl. It was like fuck off. You go fuck off now. So have you been streaming 550 days in a row? Yes. I've been showing up 550 days in a row. Technically, on one of those days, Reddit didn't allow me to stream, but I still streamed on YouTube. And then on the another day, we had like 18 hours of power outages here in South Africa, so I couldn't go live at all. But other than that, 555 days, well, 50 days, every single day, showing up for the space. Betty White was such a beautiful soul. She still is. Her soul continues. I know I feel bad for bonking her, but the ghost was being scary. Oh, poor Betty Gob went too far pistol whipping her. I was on the phone in this dream of a bestie and her husband, and the dream ended with screaming, fuck, I want this to end. I woke up and concluded that the ghost was a mosquito. Hmm. I mean, maybe you just shapeshifted into a mosquito gob. Actually still being haunted by a ghost right now. That tea break is really taking effect, you goofy. It sounds that way. I firmly believe that you can teach advanced mathematics and suggest subjects to young children. The problem is we spend such time going over the same thing each year. I shouldn't have to spend a week learning what I already learned. You shouldn't spend that time just learning how to do it, but you should be spending time actually applying, right? Like they should be giving you problems, discussions, meaningful ways to actually apply that information. And if we can really get ourselves to a point where we give that to our kids, maybe school will be fun again. Buying a farm slash property, that's a dream. We could have that, Maxine. You know, like I shared with Christian a while ago, we watched Man vs. Bee, the new Robert Atkinson. I think is that his name? Mr. Bean. It's a Mr. Bean movie. It's a Mr. Bean series. Like straight up, he's Mr. Beaning in that shit. And that house was gorgeous that he was like working in. And the first thing that I said to Christian when we were like seeing that house, I was like, we can own that house, Holmes. Or I said, we can buy a house like that. And he like looked skeptical at me, and I told him, you know why? Because people are buying houses like that. People are buying farms and properties, Maxine. So if people are doing it, who are we to say that we're not capable of doing the same? I mean, Coop. Well, yeah, but with these land prices, we're gonna have to do it commune style. I mean, Coop style, of course, co-op style, of course. Yes, please. Like from grade 4 to grade 8, I didn't learn much outside of the basics and some basic algebra. There's no reason I couldn't have learned something much more advanced by the time I was 12. Not just more advanced, but something that can actually challenge you, right? Like I feel that is definitely going to be happening as well, but whew, I wish I had more freedom to teach myself. That's what I think about back when I was 12. Actually, always loved this idea. My mom and I always talked about it. Hey, look who it is! Rowan Atkinson. Thank you. Have you seen it? Have you seen it, Brother Nelson? It's kind of happy here, man. How are you doing, my man? Land isn't land in Chiapi. I agree, Maxine. Rowan, thank you again. Nelson for joining us. It's been a while, but the bear. How are you doing? How are you doing? We spend some time in silence. That's this stream's topic. You know, the power of silence. How you can say things with silence. Land is cheap in North Dakota. Okay. I mean, maybe that's where it is. You know, you live in North Dakota, right? I have not seen it, but I may watch it this evening. You're the second person to recommend it to me. It's gonna be painful, Nelson. It's one of those painful, like Mr. Bean painful shows where you're like, no, don't do that. Don't do that thing. Don't do that thing. If you're gonna do that thing, big no no. And then he does the thing. It's so Mr. Bean, and I felt like I was like accessing parts of my childhood watching it, Nelson. So give it a watch. Get super blazed. I mean, don't do anything that you don't want to do and then watch it. I'm actually doing great today. Productive AF. How good is that to hear, Nelson? Hoorah, Nelson. Keep doing the things, dude. Thank you for showing up for yourself at the day. I appreciate that. Gotta find a place that someone thought was too much work to fix up, then get creative. Earthships. I really kind of like the idea of earthships as well. Being able to utilize the land as your, thermal battery as well. It's such a cool idea. I have tutored youth from grade 3 through college. Advanced math, many students, young and old, I feel are lost simply because they aren't shown how to apply it. Not just that, but people don't explain to them the importance of the fundamentals. Where instead of it just being like, yeah, you need to know this information, or now we're gonna cover this information. Connect, make it tangible. Be like, this information can be used in this way. And when you're gonna be solving these problems later, knowing this and this and how these things apply is gonna be useful in trying to solve these problems. And then you can teach kids how to solve problems, not just to force information into their brains. So like that, I feel I was one of the lost kids, to be completely honest, Miss Molly, because I didn't understand or realize the importance of the fundamentals. Mr. Bean was part of my childhood as well. Do you know about Elf? I think I know about it, but I haven't seen it, to be completely honest, Maxine. Oh my goodness, Earthships, yes, such a bunch of New Mexico. Yes, Earthships are great. So great. It's another approach to sustainable living actually. Yeah, that's what they're all about. Yeah, that's what they're all about, though, isn't it? The person who recommended yesterday suggested it could be a sequel about flies. There could be a sequel. Oh, goodness. I mean, if it was that popular, maybe. And good for Rowan Atkinson. But, I mean, like, the thing I'm thinking about is just our kids, right? In the same way that I, as a kid, watched Mr. Bean, to let our kids now watch, because there is some moral there. There is like a moral issue being pulled at as well. The value of things, and like there's a bunch of stuff that you can learn from it. Making a real world connection to what you've learned absolutely helps to understand many things. Making it tangible, giving us a reason to remember it. I think science should be compulsory subject in schools, and it's not. Physics is literally the physical world. I think it's good to understand that. Yeah, I agree completely. I think people just don't see the value in understanding things anymore. Like, there's a cluelessness to a lot of people. Jumpin' Jumanji! Blessings and good things to all of you. To you too, friend. No, you, thank you for joining us. Friends. Oh, what a pleasure. What an absolute pleasure to spend a moment, some time, just a little bit of an experience with you, friends. Beans. Yeah, we literally have a friend called These Are Beans, talking about Mr. Beans himself. I'm going to give you, friends, on the Reddit, an opportunity of a lifetime. I mean, I'm being a bit dramatic. I'm gonna read the card for you, friends, as well. I feel like yesterday I was like, maybe, am I not being fair to not read the card on Reddit as well? Like, is it too much of me to expect the friends to go all the way to the YouTube stream? And I was like, it takes like a few buttons. But maybe, Maybe. And maybe you can find some valuable information in these cards. So there's 4 people watching right now, 4 upvotes. This is card number 4 as well. This is a good one. It's called Earth Prayers. And I hope you can see, but it is a bunch of hands holding the earth, holding the torus field that holds the earth. Whew, I'm looking forward to the flower. This one will make. The scarf is one of my favorites. I'm looking forward to it as well. I was thinking the black on the blue with like the green and white is going to be a trip. Thank you, Jovan, for that encouragement. I get to make flowers out of my outfits every day, and I post them on my Patreon. Do you guys have Himalayan rock salt caves in South Africa? I don't think so. I do have Himalayan rock salt in my cupboard right now, so maybe pieces of it. I actually do know someone whose nickname is Beans. I feel like there's a fart joke in there somewhere. Beans is one of the most divine new additions to the community. Yes, she is. Yes, she is. Like, it's been such an experience just getting to know parts of her. And I got to see into her fractal, her side of the infinity. She has tapestries by Alex Gray. Multiple Alex Gray tapestries. I almost made a bunch of sexual references. I was like, this room is so beautiful. Thank you, Maxine. I can't tell you how beautiful it is just to be able to see it one by one. Thank you, Shannon. Okay, friends. Earth Prayers. This card is beautiful to me. Charles got a backup. It is from the Indian Himalayas, and he says that Himalayan rock salt doesn't exist. That's what I wanted to say as well. I wanted to say that, but I thought my joke of having a piece of the mountain here was gonna be a little bit better, and I think Maxine enjoyed that one a little bit more. So I'm gonna be like, yeah, pat yourself on the back. Thank you for sharing the other side of the infinity, though, Nelson. Are you gonna listen to the card? I'm like, what's this? What's Mel gonna read? So we were talking about Earth ships just before we pulled this card, and this card's core meaning is stewardship and sustainability. And it goes Earth Prayers. Embedded in this card is complex geometry that begins as the flower of life, then transforms into a tetrahedral pattern, forming a protective divine matrix around the planet. From the birth portal at the center of the Vesica Pisces, our home, Mother Earth shines in beauty and grace. Many colored hands surround and reside within these patterns, symbolizing participation of all beings in stewardship and sustainability. Stewardship denotes understanding that there is spirit in everything and that everything is connected. It implies awareness that each of our actions, whether it's growing a vegetable, cutting a tree, or using natural resources, affects the whole. The point we made about you cannot not have an impact. Even our thoughts have this power. Being stewards of earth doesn't mean living without abundance or placing judgment on the actions of others or ourselves. It does mean living with a sense of connectedness and relationship with all beings and respect for the earth. Several indigenous tribes believe we must consider the effects of our actions and demonstrate stewardship to the seventh generation. How might your daily actions and decisions be affected as you consider these effects 7 generations into the future? As you consider this question and feel the tenderness of this time in Earth's story, realize also the power of self-sustaining. No, realize also the power of your prayers and intentions. See and feel the earth as abundant and self-sustaining. See and feel humans treading lightly upon her land and making decisions that will defend rather than wound the earth. How can you more fully live with an attitude of stewardship? How's that? right? And these cards can just be noise, literally just noise, little information that you get into your brain. It doesn't have to mean anything other than it meant to you in this moment, how it felt to you in this moment. Dream killer. No, please don't take my fascinated reality of like what Himalayan rock salt looks like. I'm here for the grounding, and we love you for it, Nelson. Other side of the infinity, it's necessary for the bay. Without it, we'd be unbalanced. There's a Himalayan salt rock cave spa in Ashland, Texas, that I want to go to. They offer healing sessions and massages. Everything about that makes my brain happy. For your information, forget the name of your channel. So when I went to search for your YouTube yesterday, I typed out dude from South Africa. Love. I love that, Mojo. Meltmore. My name is Meltmore, friend. Thank you, Mojo. I look forward to seeing you friends again tomorrow. I'll wait for you, good girl. Thank you, Mega Witch. Whoa, Magwitch? Magwitch. Magwitch is thank you in Native American. Magwitch. That's a pretty sick way to say thank you. Magwitch, friends. Kind of like it. Very, very Magwitch. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Magwitch very much. Very much Magwitch. I'm being eaten by a fruit cup 7 months today. Holding that moment with you. Thank you for even in part sharing with me. Thank you for spending a moment in this space, in this time, in this life with me right now. I appreciate it so much. Spend some time in silence with yourself, with your loved ones. Sometimes it's okay to be silent as well. Love you. Thank you for joining me. Mwah. Jewish. Jewish to you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, friends. Love to you. Love to you, Shan, Jovan, Shanna, Amanda. That's all I can see. Maybe Isaac. Love to you, friends. It's gonna be okay. Keep showing up love, and we're gonna find it eventually. Cheers, cheers.